There we go. We're live.
Nice.
Welcome. No John today, at least not yet.
Is your audio routed through the Rode Podcaster?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Let me look. Possibly not. You guys can talk.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
Supposedly.
You don't have any pop filters or anything like that on it?
I don't.
Mm.
Is this?
Yep. That's the
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Does it sound bad?
No, it's actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I just bought it because
okay.
John has one too, and his voice was sounding clearer than my ATR 2100. So wanted to give it a shot, but I'm getting a lot of pop. So I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting the pop while you guys don't seem to have it. I haven't seen John use a pop filter either.
Mm-mm. I don't. So I have mine always positioned off to the side, so that might be part of it. Check. Like I think it's like more like when you're
you're more likely to get it when you talk directly into it. Mine's also a little off to the side. I like mine a little closer because I feel like I get better sound quality that way.
But yours is a is it a Procaster?
No, mine is the Electro Voice RE20.
It's a different one.
Yeah, could also just be differences in your how you vocalize too. Because when we had one of our podcast editors who went off the deep end on us, but he had told me that I of all of the all four of us, I don't project nearly as well as like John, Chuck, and it was Derek at the time. I think all projected a lot better than I did. So it could just be some difference like that.
You need to take some singing lessons.
Yeah. Work on expanding my chest capacity.
There you go.
How did the salary negotiation go?
Pretty well. Yeah, pretty well. I mean, it's pretty much like I basically know exactly how these go now. Like I was telling Josh Duty, I was like, all right, so first day I think will be around $2,500. Second day is usually around $1,500, and then we usually get about half our sales on the last day. So I think we're going to end up between $8,000 and $10,000. So we did $2,500 on the first day. We did a little more than that on the second day, a little higher than I had projected because the Facebook, the subject line I used was Facebook job offer. And that got a crazy high open rate for some reason.
I was going to click on it, but then I had better sense prevail.
Yeah. It got a pretty
grind through my
high
inbox and ran across it.
Okay.
I was like,
well,
Josh,
I was like, this is spam, and then I was like, oh no, this is Josh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh damn, I got a job offer from Facebook. I better.
Yeah. We always have. So Rodrigo always posts in the chat for like. There's always a small cadre of people who are like confused by basically anything you send out, but anytime I talk about a job opportunity or a job offer in like a story context, people are always like, yes, sir, I would like to apply for this job. But yeah, we got some of those, like we got a bunch of replies from people who thought that it was like an actual job offer. But yeah, the open rate on the first email was 17.5% and the second email was 23.5%. So, and it was a pretty awesome story. And Josh was like excited because he'd never really thought about using it in a marketing context, but he told John they did a podcast interview or like a YouTube interview, and he had a developer who was working with Facebook to negotiate, and so Facebook came back with their initial offer, and the guy was like, oh wow, this is better than I thought. Like I don't really want to negotiate this because I don't want to rock the boat. And Josh talked him into negotiating anyway, and the guy ended up getting $200,000 in equity out of the deal. So it was a great story, kind of illustrated what you're leaving on the table in a very dramatic way. So that email, the click rate on that email actually was double what the initial email was. So that popped our sales up on the second day, but then we ended up ended up coming in pretty much exactly where I expected. We were right under 9,000
gross
at the moment. Yeah, gross.
So
So
you're splitting 50-50.
yeah, we're splitting 50-50.
What about his
So,
upsell?
okay, so the upsell for this we did. So we did a $29. So he's been selling this program with like a traditional 3-tier sales page where he's got the book plus videos, and then the book plus videos and coaching are his 3 tiers. And I was like, we're not doing any of that. I just want to do a $29 offer on your book. So we stripped down the book package and made it just basically just the book and some templates. And that was $29. And that ended up the sales page ended up, I literally used his exact same sales page. I just, we had a guy rebuild it with the Simple Programmer colors in ClickFunnels. And so you literally used his exact same sales page, exact same copy. The only thing I changed was I stuck a buy now button up top because this was a deal. Like it's a, basically the offer here is getting a good deal. And the sales page converted at like 7%, which he normally sees around, I think around 1%.
On what kind of traffic?
Well, you mean the clicks we got?
No. He sees 1% on what kind of traffic?
Email traffic. So
his email traffic?
Yeah.
His own email traffic?
Yeah. So he's getting. He doesn't
know how to sell. Shit.
So no. I think a big part of it is that the traffic is coming in. It is coming into a page that he's SEO'd. So he's SEO'd job. He's got this job offer email blog post that he put together that is basically getting people who are sitting at their computer about to type a letter to their boss, and they're looking for a template. And so he's got this really, really, really critical time element. And so I think he tries to sell right away too. But anyway, so it converted a lot better than what he's been seeing.
Traffic, your own organic traffic should be converting better than freaking affiliate traffic most of the times.
Well, not when the traffic that you're getting is 2,000. It's 2,000 people clicking through who've already signed up for an email list out of a list of 75,000. If that makes sense. So we're sending him hyper filtered traffic.
Why? Aren't you sending it to the whole list?
Yeah. But I'm saying the people that actually click through are extremely likely to buy.
Same with him. I mean, if he's sending emails, that's his old business. Like that's basically what he teaches. 1%, I just think 1% is really bad. If it's your own list and you are the one who's trying to convince and you can't sell, you're selling 1% on a $49 offer, you've got a problem with your email sales.
Possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, at 1%, you're literally talking what, 50 cents a click? 49 cents a click?
No, because he's got upsells. He's got he's got the 3
maybe the
tiers
upsell will go to $1 per click. It's not going to get much better than that. You're not going to like 10x your front end offer EPC.
Yeah, well, my point is that there's a very, very large range of quality when it comes to organic traffic.
Yeah, but so traffic that finds you is way more responsive than traffic that you have to go find. Would you agree?
No, not necessarily. It depends on who is finding you.
That's true. In what way are they finding you? If the topic is relevant.
So I haven't talked to John about this yet, but here's a good example. So what's that?
You haven't talked to John about your coming out party?
No. So we've got this top 50 job interview questions post, right? Right now it's generating like 25 or 30% of the entire traffic that we're getting to the blog. Okay. So those people are super interested in job interview questions. So John built we've had a couple of different offers running. So we have the interview cake email set up that I wrote. So people sign up for a lead magnet on that page, and they go straight into the affiliate cake email sequence. Then John also created a campaign where he's doing like a full-blown like three email, 3 video, like here's how to pass your job interview type of post, right? Or type of
what does that mean?
And the last one is it's interview cake also. The last video is basically a sales pitch for interview cake, and then it goes into a discount offer, a time limited discount offer. Unless there's something seriously broken with this, we've received 0 sales, and we've gotten
how much traffic
out of 500 subscribers.
Wow.
So we're going to dig into it.
Yeah. I was going to say that should be enough for you to know, right?
That would be enough to know. So this is what I'm saying. Like, it depends who's finding you. And what they're, where they are in their whole process. Right. So anyway, you might be right, but that also could be a good conversion rate. I don't really know without digging into it a lot further.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so there's one more thing here, right? Traffic that finds you for your own offer is different from traffic that finds you and being sent to another offer. So
yeah,
that has always to be qualified.
That is true. That's true. But I mean, we're not going to if we had our own offer there, it's not going to 100x the results on that.
That's
right.
True. But
I mean, it might improve it a little bit, but I think the vast majority of it's just the people that we're attracting right now.
No, that's true. Okay, fair enough.
So, but yeah, so we ended up, it looks like our earnings per click on this looks decent. I mean, it's sort of in the same ballpark of what we usually see. I think right now we're looking at
$1.50.
No, like with the upsell. Oh yeah, I hadn't finished the upsell. So the clicks. I can tell you what the earnings per click were real quick here. I was in the process of calculating this when we started.
You had some pretty ridiculous open rates, so it should be lower EPC then.
Well, the clicks were a lot lower than what we usually get.
Oh, okay.
So let me just the really, really rough back of the envelope version is about $3.64 a click.
Is your earning or is it gross?
Gross.
Okay. $3.54?
64.
So it's $1.80 per EPC.
Yes. Yep.
For you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the upsell. So this was interesting. So we did this differently. So we built the page on our site, and he's using SendOwl. So we just used the SendOwl JavaScript code to embed the checkout directly onto our page. So they didn't go to another site. It was all Simple Programmer branded. And the upsell, so we went from $29 to $99. And that was we were going to do 2 upsells.
What was the upsell?
So the upsell was basically, we called it the expansion pack. So we basically, it was like the book. So you're buying the book, and then the expansion pack was like everything Josh offered. I mean, it was his full video course, which he usually sells for $239. And then all the bonuses that he usually sells with that. So basically it was $239. You would get it for $99. So no, I mean, like, decent deal, not like it wasn't like a doorbuster type of thing. And so we rather than having a full page dedicated to the upsell, it was just one of those dinky little pop-ups with an image of the book, and then like we had just like until we ran out of screen real estate in like a size 10 font describing the content. So it was just like 5 courses. What's that?
No video.
No video, nothing. No, it was just, it was bullet points. Like it was a headline, an image, and about 8 bullet points, and a no thanks or a buy now button. And it converted at 23.25%. So I was pretty surprised, because to go from, I was thinking that to jump to $99, that you would need like a full-on sales page to sell that. And apparently not.
Yeah,
so
25% uptake is pretty realistic on the.
That was what we've seen is 25% overall, right? But that's including an in-cart bump. That's so we like 3 or 4 different combinations, 3 or 4 different offers, and the total was about 25%. In this case, it was one offer and it was almost 25%. So if we'd had the opportunity to do an in-cart, that would have bumped it up even more. So I was,
if you had an offer bump, that would have been pretty good too.
Yeah, we didn't have a we thought we were going to be able to offer multiple chained upsells, and then on like the day that it was going live, we realized that Sundowl didn't actually work the way we thought, so we could only do one upsell. So that kind of stinks. But yeah, so the upsell actually ended up almost doubling the revenue.
Yeah.
It was like
$25.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so it was pretty successful. But yeah, the overall clicks, we only got 2,500 clicks total. So a good promotion for us will be more in the like 4,000 to 5,000 range, where if it's the level of interest is really high. In the topic.
We did what, 7K on our last one?
Yeah, we did 7K, and I think our clicks were more in that kind of like 2,500 ballpark. So yeah, so this was one of our more, I think this was one of our better ones. We'll probably offer this again, I think, in 6 months or so. I think it probably be worth it.
Our productivity one was what, 11K, right?
No, I think that was like more like 15.
No, that was the first run. The first run was 17. The first run was 17.
Yes.
And then the second run was 11. Mental toughness was like.
But yeah, that was with all the bumps and everything. The 11.
Yeah, the first productivity run that we had, there was no bumps.
Yeah,
there were no upsells. Man, we could have literally done like 35K on that one if we only knew how to do this shit properly. Shit, that was so much. Like that was so good.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it was the first time we ran that offer. So
we did 7,500 last time. 37.
Yeah.
In the social skills one, 3,200 clicks, 5% conversion. Now the problem with this is that we're taking a look at a much bigger window. Let me tighten the window up a little bit. 3,000 clicks, yeah, and 7K, 5% conversion, 152 customers, 211 funnel sales. So 50.
We ended up with 172 funnel sales on ours. So
170 funnel sales.
Yeah, 172.
And how many customers?
172.
No. Customers. How many customers and how many funnel sales?
Oh, okay. 172 customers. And then 212 funnel sales.
Oh man, this is crazy. So we have 152 customers and 211 funnel sales.
There you go. Yeah, and it was, we had a little bit more. We had more opportunities to monetize than yours, so we ended up that's what pushed that number up a little bit higher. The funnel sales.
So the difference in your case, in this case, was that the upsell was a higher price point, basically.
Yeah, I felt pretty. We were thinking of putting it at 69, but I was feeling pretty good that 99 was going to be a good place to be. And I don't think like if we'd gone to 69, we would have had to increase I don't think we would have gone up to 30% uptake.
Yeah, that's the thing.
possible, but
The difference is very in the uptake. Like it's pretty challenging to go any higher than 25% on the upsell
yeah,
thing. So in my case, 152 to 211, that's like an additional 50, 60, 60 sales. So
Mhm.
150, 60, that's what, 40%, but that also includes bumps,
right,
right?
right,
So bumps plus upsells is
yeah,
60, 40%.
yeah. I think one thing that helped. So in one thing that helped, I think in this case, from getting that high percentage on the uptake with just one offer, was that it was like I told Josh, it was like I'd like a hamburger. Oh, would you like the value meal? I mean, it was like literally just like more of what they just ordered, versus what we've done has been, there's been some of that, but then also you had these other add-ons that were not directly related, right? Like it was like social skills and then productivity. So if we'd had like, I think the ideal would be to have what we did, but then also have some tangentially related offers thrown into the mix too. So I think the big upsell, if it's directly more of what they just offered, like that's probably the ideal. But then, you're in the checkout aisle and there's like chapstick and M&Ms and you grab those too. Like I think that's kind of the
That's
ideal.
The bump.
Yeah.
That's the bump. I think you guys could have gone a little bit higher if he had offered his own coaching.
Yeah, we could have, but he's actually pretty booked. Like we could have offered like I would have probably gone to like either a $500 upsell or $1,000 on top of that. And I told him like, I think so we actually ended up with pretty much equal revenue between the introductory offer and the upsell. And I think that's a good, like, that's kind of where you want to be. Like if each tier generates about the same amount of revenue, then you're probably pricing pretty well. And I think the next one would have been either $500 or $1,000 would have been involved coaching. But he really doesn't have the capacity for that right now. And then
that's a bad way to think about it.
Well, we didn't have the technical capability either. That was the real. We would have had to rebuild we were originally going to build the whole thing in ClickFunnels, but it ended up just not really making a lot of sense. So worked out.
Yeah. I mean, him saying that he's pretty booked is a bad strategy. He needs to fire his low cost customers and increase his prices.
Well, that's true, but no. Well, no, I mean, he's charging. He charges anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 or $3,000 to $6,000 per customer. He's doing done for you negotiation with these developers that are getting
charge more
job offers from Facebook.
If you're booked, you should be charging more. That's always the simple philosophy with coaching. Because if you're charging $3,000 to $6,000, well, maybe it's underpriced, and that's why you're full.
I will.
You know how much money I save on coaching by telling myself you should just charge more.
Oh yeah,
I could be 1,000 there.
Well, we're not. Yeah, we weren't going to be able to do a $6,000. It's not worth his time to do one-off coaching when he's got these.
How much time do we spend on those $6,000 coaching clients?
I do not know.
Yeah, because if you do one-off, like 1 hour, like if his hour is worth $1,000, then he could be selling that $1,000 coaching, or
But he also has to split that with us.
No, you could do a lower split.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, this was good. 9K, right?
Yep. So, but I think we could have added another 3 to 5K if we'd had some kind of higher upsell on it. And you can kind of keep like we probably could have added something even higher than that, and it had another 3 to 5K. Like we could have probably had a 3 to 5K offer.
At this point, you have to wonder, the problem is like starting with a low price point offer, you still are limited with what you end up overall. So being able to sell a high price point offer doesn't limit you as much in terms of what you can get from customer value, right?
Right.
But
well, it does in one sense, because there's just going to be a lot fewer, unless you've got something, and you've got to have a new traffic stream for that to be true. Because if it's your existing customers, like if it's just your existing organic traffic, if you get 1,000 people in, one of them will be able to pay you, $1,000 or $2,000, and you need more traffic to get those numbers. Which is why Dan Lok, I mean, we did 75,000 email subscribers, and he got 16 sales out of it.
Is that the total number right now for you guys?
For Dan Lok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 16.
Yeah,
which is like 0.0001% or something of our list.
How many total emails did you guys send?
Oh gosh, probably it was 10 or 12 or something like that. They were pretty easy for me because I just worked with their templates.
But it's still email equity, right? So basically,
exactly.
Think of it like 3 email campaigns you guys did, right?
Right.
3 email campaigns, and then John did what, 3 or 4 videos with him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was a huge amount of overhead for what we made off of it. It was not, and I think it wasn't a great fit for the audience. So we kind of like, I think we had a lot of
who's the real winner who's the real winner?
Oh, Dan Lok.
By leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
He burnt your audience.
Yeah.
He got all the equity from it.
Yep.
Not that he burned the audience, but you guys burnt your own audience by only selling 16 of them.
Yep.
Right.
It's a good racket.
It's a good racket, right? I believe that.
Yeah.
His marketing campaign is on point by telling people, oh, you can sell 100K, and here we are, freaking 16K. You're like, what the fuck? Where's my 100K, bitches?
Well,
I'm going to invoice him for the other 86.
Probably can.
Huh?
If it's a better aligned fit, you probably can sell 100K, but
yeah, possibly. 100K selling takes a little bit of a work, though.
He was saying, I mean, they were telling us basically like, oh, any audience that's like primarily male, this works, these are the numbers, and I didn't really believe it.
That itself should be like freaking alarm bells. Like,
oh yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree.
There's no qualification here. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was I think it was a pretty successful run. But yeah, I'm going to do my usual export of the buyers and look at them. And I'm pretty sure it will be really what it comes down to for us is that the audience, the chunk of our audience that buys anything is about 5,000 people. Is really, I mean, that is the bottom line. And so that is the hard ceiling rate limiter right there. Like, you're just not going to sell more than 10K. It's very difficult to sell more than a certain amount when you've got a pool that small. And when we get 6,000 email subscribers a month, probably about 60 of them end up in that pool eventually.
Why didn't you guys promote John's Bulldog Mindset?
The course, his membership.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a bunch of people already bought it.
I know.
From our audience.
I know.
I mean, the people that signed up for it are already from our audience. So
I know, but still, there was still probably a possibility of.
Yeah, we could do
another 100, 200 from that.
Could do a membership, or do an affiliate deal for that.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
John only makes 75% of that deal.
Yeah, wait a second. We might have to negotiate that. I wouldn't. That didn't even.
So you have to put
occur
John
to
Simple
me.
Programmer against John Bulldog Mindset and try to
Yeah.
negotiate. Try to let them
Yeah.
negotiate.
Yeah.
Try to make John negotiate against John.
I don't know. I mean, I think the Bulldog Mindset, John probably has the upper hand there. So
He'll at least, seed the thought and let him negotiate against himself.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like heads I win, tails you lose. Now you
Yeah.
can take whichever one you want.
Nice. Oh man.
But yeah, so that was good. I'm pleased with how it came out, and
You are pleased because I remember
I'm pleased. It's all relative, Manny.
I know, because when we did the productivity one last time around, you're like
2018 Josh would not be pleased. 2019 Josh is happy as a clam.
Oh my god. Well, the social skills one wasn't really that bad in that case, because I was the one who was displeased. I was like,
I wasn't expecting a whole lot more than what we did, so I wasn't disappointed.
I was at least expecting 10K. I was like, man, 10K, especially because you guys talk about social skills so much.
It's basically what I've noticed is that the earnings per click on all of these are pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're right around $4, and the only thing that changes is just the sheer number of clicks, and that really seems to be determined by the topic. Like, we do our best to sell, to not sell social skills, but to sell like the results that they want. But it really does come down to like, do they buy into, when they get down to it, do they actually buy into the proposed solution to the problem? Like calling out the problem gets their attention, but they still have to buy into your mechanism for solving the problem. And that's what seems to be, that's what flexes. It's like Interview Cake will get, 5,000 clicks, and social skills we get 2,000. And 3, the earnings per click ends up being the same. And what changes is just the sheer number of clicks. So,
Chuck, when are we running the productivity one again?
That will be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Let me know. We might need to modify some emails before.
Yeah, we should probably powwow next week and make sure that we have everything figured out.
All right.
Especially since the week after, when it all runs, I'm going to be in San Francisco.
You might want to have that ironed out before. So
we should probably have it all set up and ready to go.
I mean, we can always push it out a week or so. It doesn't matter.
We could do it the week after.
So that way we don't really run into anything while you're gone. Because, with you, it's still like you're still getting your feet wet with all those email promotions and stuff like that. So things go wrong. We might have to figure shit out. While with Josh and John, these guys have been doing this since the day of
I'm running an email campaign right now, actually, for somebody for the
Ruby nice. What is it about?
Ruby Motion.
So same list as what we promoted. What's going on with it? How's it looking?
I was just looking at it, actually. So the open rate's been about 20% on those.
How much have you made so far?
Well, I just made her pay me up front because I didn't know exactly how it was going to go. So
that's it's
more of a sponsor.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And she wasn't set up to do any kind of affiliate setup. So
how much did she pay you?
$1,000.
Okay,
that's probably not a bad.
And how big is the list?
About 2,600 people.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
And I included her coming on the show and stuff. And
how many emails are you sending for 3?
4. But the 4th one was, hey, make sure you don't miss the webinar.
Oh, she's doing a webinar. How many clicks have you gotten so far?
Let's see.
Have you sent out all the 4?
Yeah, the last one went out this morning. Let's see. That one got 37. That one didn't get any. That's weird. Oh, I don't think it had any links in it, which was a mistake.
Oh, damn.
So she's probably got about 70 clicks so far.
I don't know if she's watching this, but you did pretty well, my friend.
Yeah, she's got about 75 clicks.
Ouch. I hope she is able to do something out of it, because that's not enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna send another push on Monday. The webinar's on Tuesday.
What's the offer? Is it like a digital training type of thing?
Yeah, so she's doing a course on Ruby Motion. That was the reason why I made her pay up front, because I'm not exactly sure how many people are really interested in Ruby Motion anymore. It's been around for a long time. I mean, it's got some things going for it, and so I think the email next week will probably be something like a reminder, and we'll push the button of Ruby Motion is going open source, which will get people excited and get them to at least open it.
Be back.
But I just wasn't sure. That's been a tough one for me to gauge, is how interested people are in Ruby that aren't web apps or or GWiz projects like IoT or something.
Ruby Motion, is that mobile, like of the mobile? Ruby on mobile.
So it'll run. It statically compiles to the iOS runtime, and it does something else to run on Android. I think it does some kind of compilation to like the JVM or something for Android.
Okay.
Same idea. And I mean, they're looking to add a bunch of other features like Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. So it's got some cool stuff going on. It's going open source, but I think it missed its chance to really hit.
Oh yeah.
It was out there at the right time, but it was, it doesn't have kind of the ease of use that like React Native and some of the other ones do.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of it, but I mean, I'm looking at building some mobile apps, and I'm probably going to do them in JavaScript. So.
Right. I mean, this is a great example of like where somebody didn't look at somebody built a product because they're interested in a technology, and they're almost like being an evangelist. Like their product is almost an evangelism for
but she's going to do
dying technology.
I think it had the potential to get knocked out of the park, but I don't know. I mean, the selling proposition is it's Ruby on mobile.
Right.
And I just don't know if that's enough. Does that make sense? So, I tried to push it, and hey, this is more native than the JavaScript solutions, and it's Ruby. Hey.
Yeah. I mean,
stuff like that, but
yeah, a lot of this stuff is like, it's already lost.
Yeah.
And there's,
well, and a lot of people have tried it over the years, so. And we gave it a good promo on the show, and I think she's gotten some clicks from the show too.
Yeah. Yep. I think I wouldn't do any, like if I were you, I wouldn't do any affiliate promotions unless it's like a red hot rising. Have you read the STAR Principle by Richard Koch? Basically that's so his premise in that book is that if you're going to build a company, what's that?
I read about a business book a week, so
that's a good one. That's a good one to stick on the list. But basically the thumbnail version of it is if you're going to build a business or invest in a business, you really want it needs to be number one in a market that's growing 10% or more per year. If either of those things are not true, then the growth is very, very, very constrained, and it's going to always continue to struggle and not get a lot of traction. So this is a good example. Like that technology had a shot probably 10 years ago, but it never hit that number one spot. So
they came out with it and people were excited about it, but A, you had to buy a license for it.
Ooh, yeah.
And B, it worked, and it worked well, but it was never like just a complete slam dunk. And so then stuff like Ionic, which makes Cordova actually reasonable to code in, and React Native, and some of these other solutions came out. I mean, and even like NativeScript, which is Telerik Progress, it's their answer, right? So, and it works the same way as React Native. It just doesn't incorporate a framework. You can incorporate your own. Works great with Angular and Vue. But yeah, even that one's having trouble getting traction because the other ones are just so attractive and they're a lot easier. Because if you're already doing React, then you just pop React DOM out because you're not doing web app. You pop React Native in, and then yes, you have to rejigger some stuff so that your new views for mobile work, but that's it. And so if you're already doing React, it's kind of done. And with Ionic and stuff like that, sure, it's Cordova and it's web rendered, but it's fast and it works and it's easy and people are happy with it. So even they're having trouble getting as much traction. I mean, it's a cool technology, but that's not always what you need. So
yeah, I mean, I think in most cases, I don't know why people persist. Once something has won, it's really it's almost impossible to unseat it in a particular niche until like if you're going to go head to head, if you're going to go head to head against React Native, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Unless you're Google. If you're Google, then you might have a chance to do it.
Yeah, I think you're right and wrong. I think you can
great ways to say you're wrong.
No, I think you're generally right. I mean, it's the 800-pound gorilla, and that's the one that most people are going to. But you can go win in smaller communities. And so, like, NativeScript has gotten a lot more traction in the Angular community than React Native has because you can do Angular with it. And so, but they can't compete with Ionic because Ionic's the big dog over there. And so it's the same principle. It's just, I cannot find that book you're telling me to find.
The Star Principle?
The Star Principle.
Yeah.
How's it going with the advertising?
So for me, so
for you, it's more like sponsorships, right?
Yeah. So I closed a whole bunch of sponsorships last week and this week. And so things are looking really good there. I have pretty much all the shows booked out except for the couple of shows that I wasn't promoting in January. It's kind of funny how that lags. But yeah, I really wasn't pushing them in January. And then, I'm starting to push them now because those are the only openings I have left. At least over the next 2 months. And now I'm starting to get people coming to me and saying, hey, we want to sponsor, but we want to sponsor in June. And so that's allowing me to go back to my current sponsors and say, hey, guys, do you want to keep sponsoring in June? Because if not, I have somebody that wants your spot. And so I think I'm going to push it that way. I had at least 2 podcasters at MicroConf come to me and say that they wanted me to find them sponsors. And then I've had a few other people over the last probably 3 or 4 months that have also done the same thing. And so I think my next stage in things is I'm spending a ton of time these days working on Podwrench just to get that together because it will make all of that sponsoring stuff a ton easier. And then the other end of that is I'm probably going to go talk to pretty much every tech podcast I can find and see if they want me to find them sponsors.
Yeah. I bet that email gets very high response rate.
Well, the thing is that, so, and this is something that I think I talked about last week, and it's something that one of the podcasts, I'm not going to announce who it is because I haven't talked to them about, publicly disclosing anything. I think they'd be fine with it, but I just haven't talked to him. So anyway, he emailed me and we talked about producing his show and about the sponsorships a little bit. And he emailed me back and he said, I really want you to find the sponsors for me. But what he's looking at, and it sounds like what he wants me to do is he wants me to set up kind of a package deal. So it's not just the audio ad read sponsorship on the podcast. He wants it to include that, his newsletter, Twitter, and YouTube. And so,
okay. So
I'm trying to figure out exactly, what that offer looks like on each of those platforms. The Twitter, newsletter, and the podcast are pretty straightforward, but I don't know what he's doing on YouTube.
So just my limited experience with this might be useful. I'm wondering if you might actually have 3 separate or 4 separate buyers there.
That's the thing I'm worried about.
Because, all right, so I've of the sponsors that I've talked to, I've not been able to sell anybody on display advertising. Nobody wants display on the website. Yeah, they're all convinced it doesn't work. It's a waste of money.
I've offered like a company that wants display advertising only on DevChat.
I keep
telling them I haven't set that up. So
yeah, I've offered him a good deal where it like. I'm like, look at here's the numbers we got. We did a test run with this with a customer. These are the numbers.
Right.
Like this, the cost per click would be very reasonable. Like, and I can't even get anybody to try it. It's like $1,000 a month, and they would get at least 1,000 clicks out of it. And like, I haven't been able to get them to try it out. So nobody wants display. There are people that like newsletters.
Yeah.
It seems like newsletters and podcasts are the two easiest ones to sell.
Well, their newsletter has 80,000 subscribers, so
yeah. Whose newsletter?
Yeah. Well, we don't want to disclose. The person, but yeah, it's the one that Chuck sent the email.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the newsletter people like newsletters, the podcast, and then the podcast people seem really love podcasts, and because they've proven out that channel. And I was
where they are.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. I was trying to package everything together, and it was basically like they were like, no, we like that piece and we don't really care about the rest of it.
Well, what I may do is I may actually put it together so it's like, here's the pricing for the podcast, here's the pricing for the newsletter, here's the pricing for YouTube. We'll probably just sprinkle Twitter on all of it. And then, so then they can get a tweet that says, hey, go check this thing out. Or, hey, we've got a sponsor and they're awesome. You need to see them. And then what I may do is I may have a 4th offer that is, you get kind of a bulk discount if you buy it all. And that way people who want the package will buy it. And then I don't have, to do 3 sales calls to fill it all up. I can only do 1. You save me a bunch of effort. Congratulations, you save some money.
I would probably lead with the podcast.
Yeah, well,
and then offer them the upsell.
That's my sweet spot.
Yeah, right. Just like in the sales call, like go. Hey, look, here's the three options. You've got podcast only. There's you can upgrade to the deluxe package and get. I think that will be easier too with people that already like, because I've had sponsors come back to me and go, look, is there any way we can get more, because this is working well for us, can we get more traffic from you?
Right.
At that point they were willing to think about other areas, but YouTube is the one I've met a lot of skepticism on.
Well, and I don't know what they're doing with YouTube either, and so I'm like, what, you're gonna YouTube mentions or just something in the description, or so yeah, but we're talking on Monday and we'll figure all that out. And yeah, I'm just trying to get clarity on it because I haven't sold sponsorships on the other pieces.
Right.
Not surprised that YouTube gets so much tougher just because it's not clear how it gets conversions.
Yeah.
How are your Facebook ads going?
We shut them off for the time being. We're gonna reevaluate. So the latest thing we tried cutting the price down just to see if that was like if we could go with the lower. So we cut it down from $199 down to $49 to see if that would move the needle. And we were getting more add to carts. We got more volume of sales, but I think we ended up slightly lower revenue overall. Revenue. So yeah, at this point we've paused all the ads, and when John comes back, we're going to talk about what we want to do, whether we want to try a different product or I mean, I talked to Jason and told him basically, like, I don't think this product is just not gonna fly for whatever reason.
Even with John's sales videos, it wasn't converting.
We got one sale out of that. So the thing was that video, I didn't think that video was gonna help because it was so far down in the funnel. It was like the number of views was very small because it was already very filtered at that point, so it couldn't have a big impact.
Videos to be like that.
I think the problem was just the time. I think the biggest problem is the timing.
What do you mean?
The time, like people only wanted to hear about this when they're actually hunting for a job, and I think it's just too hard to find people. That was our hypothesis going. That was a very likely hypothesis going into it, and I think I think that's probably the best explanation.
I would agree with that. It's a very hard offer to sell anything other than at the time when people want it. So advertising that through Facebook is hard. Advertising through Google AdWords is much easier.
Well, it makes sense to me too, because the people who are looking for jobs, it's like, you have this pain, and they go, yes, I do. And everybody else is like, yeah, I might have that pain eventually. And
the problem is, like, you're targeting it's very hard to find those audience, and it's very expensive to find that audience is the problem you guys have right now. Compared to finding audience for improving their salary, which would be much easier to find.
The big head fake in all of this was Interview Cake, which was, I've now concluded, is really about data structures and algorithms more than it is about interviewing.
Job interviews.
Yeah. So I think what the problem they were hitting on. So have you guys seen? So Rob Connery has his Imposter's Handbook that he wrote, and I thought this is funny. Part of the reason why I did the imposter syndrome thing was of that book, and as I was doing the marketing for that course, I looked at the book and I was like, oh, this is about data structures and algorithms. I actually thought it was about, because knowing Rob Connery and Scott Hanselman, they talk about imposter syndrome all the time. And I thought that this was the topic, but that was actually just the title, completely misleading title. And it was entirely about data structures and algorithms. And like all the stuff that you, as a self-taught programmer, you didn't learn. So I think that's the insecurity, is like, all these self-taught programmers or bootcamp programmers who didn't get this computer science background in school, like me, I didn't get it, have this gnawing insecurity that they're like, that they're not really up to par, and they're faking it. And so I think that's what Interview Cake that's really the need that it hits on.
Because that's
at least with our audience,
computer science. Okay, so are you guys gonna, like, when you say you've shut them down, as in, like, how much have you guys paid them in total?
So we paid, I think we paid $5,500 for the work they've done, and probably
the Facebook guys?
Let's not say, the Facebook guys, then Bubba Facebook Inc. And then we probably have spent about $3,000 on ads.
Okay, so $8,500, and what's the total revenue?
Probably $1,500, maybe.
$3,000 spent on ads with $1,500 revenue. The problem also is that on Facebook, it's hard to ROI on a front end, ROI on a front end offer, especially at that price point.
But the people, we've also had almost a 50% refund rate.
What?
Or like, it's like 30 or 40%.
Wow. Holy smokes, that's terrible.
Yes, and the email addresses coming in to the campaign, the email addresses coming in through Facebook look reasonable. We're getting great engagement. I mean, like the engagement numbers on the campaign, like I could look at it now, but they were like 40-50% for paid traffic.
So 30%, 40% return on the $3,000 you're saying. So you've already returned around $1,500 out of the 3,000 gross.
I need to look back. Gross. I know we've had at least 4 or 5 refunds, and I want to say we've maybe made 15 total sales, or it was also, the numbers were split up between different.
That's horrible.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the email addresses of the people that are buying don't look very promising. So I don't think that I don't think actually in this case that upsells really would have helped all that much. You definitely need the whole upsell thing working, but in this case, I don't even know if the people that were buying would have really taken up the upsells at any kind of reasonable rate. So it was definitely not. I think what we were getting was mostly students. And it was a stretch for them. Yeah, it was a stretch for them financially. So yeah, so that one dead. That's dead for sure.
For sure.
That effort is dead. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna continue with Facebook or what we're gonna do. John, it sounded like when I talked to John about it, he wants to focus on building a broader career guide course.
Yeah.
And then try to figure out how to sell that with paid advertising after we create the product. So
I could see that.
I think if it's a $1,000 plus price point, that's probably the best way to. That's probably much more realistic than anything else. Or how to market yourself.
Actually, what I would do would be 10 steps, learn anything quickly.
You can't sell it at a high price point.
We could if we redid it.
No. Learning is not just enough of a high price point product.
It is the most, like, if you do the math and you compare.
I think you've got something there actually, because
you compare the book, you compare the career guide book, you compare the learning course, and you compare how to market yourself since 2017, when we launched when we had all 3 of those things going at the same time. We've made, I think, close to twice as much revenue off of 10 steps as anything else.
Even the book?
Even the book.
The big things in my world are, how do I stay current?
Yep.
And that hits that directly.
I think it's the only thing that I've seen that is close to a universal pain point.
Universal pain point, yes, but price point is where I'm not convinced that people will pay $1,000 for that. People with $1,000 for how to market yourself or how to get a software career guide, like Complete Software Developer's Career Guide, that I can see people paying $1,000 for. This, I find it really hard to see people paying.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't do $1,000. I would probably do several hundred, maybe a couple hundred,
and then 199 is probably the best you will get out of it. Anything
with an upsell.
If you can connect what people want, like why they want to level up with this product, and you can cement that in their heads, you could sell it for 400.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean it's the one thing. To me, it's the one thing we've actually proven to work. The career guide has been great. But we haven't proven anything other than that Amazon, it sells well on Amazon for $5.
I think you could do the career guide if people, like, if you redid 10 Steps to Learn Anything and you knocked it out of the park with it, then you could come back around and you could sell another $400 or $500 course that is the Complete Software Developer Career Guide.
Yeah, I would like to see
prove yourselves to people first, because it's just too vague to offer anybody any concrete outcome until you've kind of proven that, hey, look, we get you outcomes, and now, hey, we're just going to make your entire career level up.
Right. Yes, I agree. Yeah, it's a concrete pain point. I think, like, even if we build the career guide and we try to sell it, what we're going to end up having to do is create. Oh, we lost Chuck. We're going to end up having to test. We're going to end up having to test 20 different little niche front end products like that anyway. Just like, I don't think we're going to be able to sell the career guide course on paid traffic directly. Like we're going to need it's going to be the third step it's going to be a third upsell in a upsell funnel. And so we still need to figure out what those front end offers would look like. So
maybe not. Maybe because a lot of there are people who are selling like high-end courses straight up, without any. Hey, by the way, I was thinking of writing a couple of blog posts for you guys, more in the personal development / that space. So, what do you have any recommendation for that? What you would like probably productivity / social skills, like all of those things.
I mean, productivity's a winner with our audience. So
yeah, productivity is always
start there. Yeah, I'd probably start there.
I also want to write one on the 48 laws of power thing and how it changed my life as a developer, how it got me a salary increase and things like that.
I like it.
So I should write those few blog posts for you guys.
Do some keyword research ahead of time.
Yeah,
figure out it's not worth doing a post if you don't have a good keyword to target. It's not worth, because you'll get 2,000 page views and it'll fall off the front page and that'll be the end of it. So,
I agree. Like what I've been thinking of is doing a full-fledged summary of 48 laws of power. Because 48 laws of power has some ridiculous traffic, like keyword traffic.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So these book names by themselves have some ridiculous traffic. So if I do posts based on those book names,
I mean, I'd be happy to, like, I think we have a lot more juice than you do. So
exactly.
If you did a series of posts targeted at specific books that were relevant to our audience, and then had an upsell or had a link to your affiliate link to your whatever relevant book bundle, that could be really successful.
I think I can do that. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I think you could probably instantly rank on our site for just about any book title that you could.
Exactly, because there are a couple of other guys who are like trying to fight that out.
Yeah.
But you guys have so much more domain authority than all those other guys that we literally like rank for those very quickly.
Yep.
And my thinking here is that one of the ways to incentivize a constant flow of sales is to say, here's this coupon code. We only release 10 coupons per week. So if it's active, go buy it. Because what happens is if the article ages, then people think, oh, the sale probably is over, so they don't even use it. They won't even click on that shit, right? But if you say, hey, we only release 10 or 20 of these coupons every week, so go and try it out. If it's available, then you got it. Otherwise, come back next week to buy the course for a cheaper price than what you see right now. And that way, it's an always on sale. It's not the first 200. It's not the first. No, it's not a time limited sale. It's like week limited sale.
Right. I like it. Yeah. I'd be happy to try that out.
Yeah.
I think it would work.
I think definitely worth trying out, because we did some of that with John's 48 laws of, like, I did a video on YouTube on 48 laws of power. And here's the fun part of all of this right now with YouTube and Google and being in bed. I could literally take all of the stuff that I did the video on YouTube and clean it out as an article, and you can have the video embedded and the article and still rank very well. It actually ranks even better because of the on-screen time.
Well, the other thing it does is, so when I was at PodFest, I went to the VidFest thing, and they said that it also connects the two pieces of content, and so you kind of, if one does well, the other one kind of gets a little bit of lift from it.
Yeah.
Maybe I was saying that.
Maybe, but I didn't see you at VidFest.
It was the same shit.
Yeah.
You were at PodFest.
Manny,
anything that I learned at PodFest, Manny's like, you learned that from me, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Maybe
you can't dispute it.
It's almost like it's an overarching theme. You have to understand everything you learned at PodFest was because
what's Manny's fault. I got it. It's fine.
Manny was
there. Do you want a testimonial, Manny?
Yes. I mean, seriously, if there was,
I was super dumb. Then I met Manny. There you go. We caught it on video.
There you go.
All right. Can we please make sure we get this on tape and scheduled on Simple Programmer channel?
Yeah, somebody's gonna put it on a loop. I was super dumb. I was super dumb. I was super dumb.
Chuck just became a meme.
There's Ty Lopez and then there's Manny.
Yeah.
I was broke and then I met Ty Lopez. I was super dumb and I met Manny.
That's right. Oh man. But yeah, I've been putting in a ton of time on Podwrench. I'm meeting with my developer again. We're just really knuckling down because, yeah. And I've got 3 shows now. I've had 4 or 5 people say they want to be on the developer leadership show. So all I have to do is reach out to them. But yeah, then I need to just get these systems locked in. One thing that I'm wondering real quick is, and this is more of a technical question that I don't know if you guys have a good answer for or not, but I want to start doing content marketing to promote Podwrench.
Okay.
And the technical question is, I get blogging, I get YouTube and podcasting. Definitely, I understand. The thing that I'm wondering about is, I talked to a couple of SEO folks at MicroConf, and they all said that you get more juice off of doing like podwrench.com/blog than you do off of blog.podwrench.com. And so I kind of want to embed those up under the app, but the app currently manages the like the main landing page. So like the main theme and all the marketing pages are all going to have that theme on them. But I don't really want to build a blogging platform, right?
Yeah. Okay. So 2 things. First of all, you shouldn't be doing content marketing to promote Podwrench.
Why?
Why? Because you need to look at the keywords that before you even think about doing content marketing as a strategy, you need to think about whether there's people actually searching for things that are related enough to what you're offering.
Yes.
Will the right people be searching? And the answer is
yes.
No.
Okay. What is the ideal search term? Let's ask. Chuck. What is the search term you would be targeting?
So there are a couple of them. One is how do I make money with podcasts?
Mm-hmm.
There are lots
pretty broad.
Looking for that.
Okay.
How do I start a podcast? There are a lot of versions of that.
Oh no! How exactly does Podwrench fit into their how to start a podcasting?
So they sign up and it just walks them through the whole process.
Okay.
So at the end, they have a podcast.
Well, okay. So if you're gonna, I guess if you're going to be positioning it as the end all be all podcast launching system, then I take back what I said. The initial, I think your best customers initially though are going to be large podcasters, and honestly, I would put all of my effort into that. And like if you get
like direct outreach, you mean?
Yeah, and building in relationships. And if you had like 100 of the top podcasters using your platform, like you are just going to have more traffic than you could possibly handle, I think, because they'll talk about it. They'll recommend you. There are people listening to those podcasts will be the people who want to start podcasts.
Okay.
If you get John Lee Dumas on this thing, like,
no, I agree.
Right.
What's your website for Podwrench right now?
Podwrench.com. I haven't updated the
it looks like
front page for a while.
Yeah, it's totally random on front page.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on this week is getting all of that stuff together.
So content marketing is like a really it's like a 5-year
slow
effort. You're starting you're starting from zero. So and like to even get if you get these relationships in place, that will you'll at least have a little. You'll go from 0 on a scale of 1 to 100. Maybe you'll go from 0 to 20. And then when you publish stuff, it'll actually have a prayer.
Agree.
So you become the sponsor for your own podcast is what you would do.
Right.
And
so here's the thing that I'm wondering, though, because I'd rather reach out to these people and talk to them and sell them and then get them into a system that it will at least kind of work for them. And I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, I figured, you know what? I can work on... What?
Don't market it. I mean, just don't worry about the content marketing.
Don't do the sales yet?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I agree with Josh here because it's just so much effort that's spent on on content marketing that could become unnecessary if you. Oh man! So check this out. I met this girl at Social Media Marketing World. She's the founder of this software tool called Kapwing, KAPWING.com. It's a video editing tool.
Okay.
So, man, these guys hacked SEO like nobody's business. So the two founders are former Google SEO product managers, right? And Kapwing is the video editing software. So what they did was they put the software out and they were charging like $10 or $20 a month. But if someone could not pay for the software, they would be like, okay, well, please give us a reason as to why you cannot pay, and we'll let you use it for free for another like month or so, right? So people literally had to submit an answer to that. And there was like their sad faces, the two founders and their sad faces saying, you cannot pay. Okay, well, please tell us why you can't pay. And, you know, we'll get back to you. If we like it, we'll give it to you for free.
So I'm a tightwad doesn't work?
No. So check this out. So what they did was they took all of this data, they put together the analytics of it from their 200-300 users that they had at the time, or 100 users that they had at the time. And they basically took this story to TechCrunch and Hacker News. And what?
Oh, nice.
They literally ranked on Hacker News because of this, not because of their software. And that bumped their domain authority.
Yep.
And now when they write about other things, they have like 1.5 million in 15 months uniques.
Right.
So they literally hacked everything SEO that we know by using these PR story angles that have nothing to do with their software, but literally are stories that media sites are picking up, which are giving them ridiculous domain authority. And now anything they write about software or anything they write about video literally allows them to rank along with it. So it's like,
that's really good.
It's like unbelievable SEO work. 15 months, 1.5 million visitors. Like they have right now, they haven't spent any money on marketing other than their own like SEO efforts like this, basically guerrilla marketing. And the girl was telling me they're currently raising Series A at $50 million valuation. And they got initial seed funding from angel from Kleiner Perkins. So these guys are just killing the game of SEO like I've never, like I didn't even conceptualize the idea that you literally story hijack to get domain authority, and that basically changes everything for you, the domain authority. And now her new endeavor is to give free access to her software to people if they would write an article about it. So if they write an article and they link it back, guess what? Same fucking shit all over again. Like genius fucking SEO stuff, man. Like, and she's like, well, when we were product managers at Google, we didn't really know what the fuck was SEO because we were just like theoretical SEO people. But when we actually started to put it to practice, that's when we learned SEO. And I'm like, shit, this is like SEO on steroids, right? This is like SEO hijack, SEO hacking. Like, I don't know if I've heard anyone do it before like this. This is like the stuff that they should be writing books about, not like freaking Brian Dean and all those guys, because that's just traditional SEO. This is like hacking beyond most people's wildest dreams kind of SEO.
All right. I still, I'm going to kind of push this back because I still don't understand why I can't just spend a half hour every week writing a blog post or something.
If you can do something like this.
Okay.
That's
I mean,
fair.
it's just not.
Otherwise, there's no real, like,
it's literally not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't have any kind of
it's not
authority. You don't have any kind of
it's
traction. So that will take years and years to build. But if you did something like what she did, yeah, you can get really fast. But now you have to rack your brain about writing stories that the media will pick up.
Right. What I mean, what you could do, Chuck, what would actually be valuable would be write an article about how I built a podcast network that that pays all my bills or whatever, and then publish that on somebody else's website, because that would have a chance of going viral. And then you've got, and then link and make sure that you link in your bio and stuff to your new Podwrench.
Right.
Yep.
And and you can talk about Podwrench in the article, but like that's the type of thing that would be worth doing. But if you just publish articles on your own site,
nobody cares.
It literally will accomplish nothing. Like so the metrics, and you're also going after the wrong customer, because like in the SaaS business, the metrics are like, you get 100 people to your site, 3% of them sign up for a free trial, and 10% of them end up signing up for the paid version, and then they churn out after 3 months.
Right.
So you're going to be attracting the wrong, like the people you'd be attracting are like beginners who they don't have a show, they can't get sponsors, they're not even going to stick with the podcast. So you're attracting, you want to start with the successful people, and then they'll bring, you'll get the beginners later, but you need a very large volume of them to make any kind of difference. Like if you could literally do blogging on your own site for the next 3 years and end up just closing the thing down because you can't get enough people in the door to make it worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it, man. How much would you charge for the product?
I mean, that's the other thing that I'm working on. I ran into Jason Fried. I cornered him after he spoke at MicroConf. So ran into is probably misrepresented a little bit. But yeah, we chatted for a few minutes. I don't know. I keep going back and forth between like $25 a month up to like $100 a month. And it really just depends on like what level of service I want to offer. Because like he told me that because I was like, well, I'm thinking about just partnering with somebody for the file hosting and stuff like that, and just handing all that off to Libsyn. And he said no. He said don't do that. And then I'm like, okay, well then I have to figure out how to make sure that I'm not getting killed on the back end of this, right?
I mean, the real money in this is not the sponsorship revenue, right?
The real money is the sponsorship revenue.
Right.
And I'd really like to get people who are making their shows on there to just opt into our ad platform. But kind of offering a complete solution. So it's like, look, just show up here and we'll do, it'll do most of what you need.
I really think that the MVP is the sponsorship platform.
You think so?
I do. Because the other stuff is all commodity stuff.
Yeah, everyone has it. Nobody is going to go to your platform.
True. Well, the sponsorship is the most mature part of the platform right now.
Yeah, I know. Right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get that done. Get that working really well. And then get some big people in the door. And then you can kind of add on the other pieces to make it more,
That makes sense. And then, so I guess the other end of this is... I guess it wouldn't be terribly hard to do. But I guess the other end of this is like after talking to, this particular show, where they want me to do the newsletter and YouTube and everything else, I guess I could add all those features in too. Right. And so they can just select.
I would just why don't you just try to sell it manually as an add-on for now?
What do you mean?
Like,
the newsletter piece of it.
Yeah, before you make sure that you can make sure that podcast sponsors want to buy newsletter sponsorship before you go build a whole additional module to add inventory and capture all the assets for a newsletter, because it's related but different.
I how do I put it? So the platform, the way it's set up right now, I mean, it uses podcasting terms like episode, but I mean, really, it's just an ad spot, right? And that's what it boils down to. So if somebody marked it as a newsletter, the only thing I change is that it'd be issue number instead of episode number.
Right. I have a hard stop at one. Well, I probably should drop off now, actually.
All right.
So let's do. So Chuck, maybe if we didn't answer your blog question, but hopefully.
Yeah,
I would agree
not to do it.
Yeah.
Not to do it is the right strategy right now, unless you have some real traction on it right now.
Right.
There's no use unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like, I would not tell anyone to just start with content marketing to grow a business today. Like, there's so many more ways to do it. Content marketing is just an angle that you can take at some point in the business. It's not always the thing that you start off from ground zero and try to make it work. It's just the longest haul. It will have the longest staying power, but it's the longest haul.
Yeah.
So that's my thought for the day. That content marketing is for the long haul game, and it is painful. It does pay off in the long term, but it's probably one of the best ways to build authority and influence in your marketplace. But not every business should start off with content marketing as the platform of choice. You should incorporate it in your business. It doesn't have to be the starting point in your business, in every business.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I just did a quick search, and I found a list of podcasts about podcasting. There are way more out there than I thought.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so I may just go do a podcast tour and just talk to people.
Yep. Do all of them. And that will be way more valuable use of your time.
Every dollar spent on your time should be considered as dollar as well, rather than just time. Right. And then you can evaluate, okay, well, content marketing, I spent 4 hours, that's worth $4,000 or whatever you want to say, compared to investing that money on hiring a podcasting agency to find you spots on 5 different podcasts.
Yeah.
Right? For $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah.
All right. So my thought is, I read a really good book this week called Spin Selling.
Oh yeah.
Which is fantastic. And there was a ton of really good stuff in there. One of the things that jumped out to me was he was talking about how in sales there is this cult almost of closing. Like, all anyone cares about is closing. And every sales training program has to have the word closing in the title, or people won't even buy it. But the irony is that closing, according to his research, which was the most extensive research probably ever done on sales training, closing doesn't actually work. Closing techniques, especially in bigger sales, though that's the caveat. In bigger sales, closing techniques don't really work. They work well in smaller sales, and that's where people cut their teeth, and then they go on to bigger sales and they assume that the same things are going to work, and they don't. But so there's this like cult of closing, and I realized like that that's actually a really common thing. Like different markets have these like hot topics so in golf, copywriters, if you talk to them in golf, everyone cares about hitting a 400-yard drive off the tee. Nobody cares about putting. Nobody cares about the short game. Like the stuff that actually matters, nobody cares about. All they care about is tee shots. And in our market, I see that as well. It's basically like racking up more technical knowledge is the closing for software developers. And he talked about it, like the reason for this with selling, he thinks, is that you get that endorphin rush when you apply a closing technique and it quote unquote works, the person buys, then you get the little, the happy juice in your brain, and you just want more and more of that. And I think that's...
So what he's saying is that closing techniques don't work?
Yes. In large sales, they are negatively correlated. Like the more closing techniques you use in big ticket sales, the less effective the It's a great. If you haven't read the book lately, it would be worth rereading because basically what works is eliciting the customer to tell you to vocalize their needs and the payoff for meeting those needs. And when the more pressure you apply with closing techniques, the more cautious and guarded and less likely to buy they are. So you do have to close, like you have to ask for the order, but if you've done the job right, you don't need to use a lot of fancy closing jujitsu. So
that's fair. That's the same with the podcast sponsorships.
Yeah, I remember
very many.
These Simple Programmer guys were promoting this course because high ticket closing. And
I know. That was what. Well, I realized so he was very insistent on framing that as closing, not selling. And now I know why. Because closing is the money thing that everybody wants in the sales field. So anyway, so I've got to go here.
Yeah, same thing with the tech skills, right? I'm going to get paid more because I know more.
Exactly. All right. Sorry, Chuck. This will probably drop when I leave, but I have to go now. So
it'll drop in a minute. If Mandy and I hurry, we can get thoughts in.
All right. Catch